Hi, Phil. I'm so happy to see you.
Happy to see you. You look dazzling.
Thank you. I'm going to receive the compliment.
Mm,
Thank you.
Yeah, you look great.
So do you. And well, I'm so excited because yesterday it was a holiday, so we didn't celebrate, we didn't come online. And so today we get to be here on Tuesday on this new moon day. And well, yesterday was the new moon, but it's the beginning of a new moon and it's your birthday. So I'll say happy birthday. Courtney doesn't like her birthday, but she's so happy you're going to like it today.
I can't thank you enough. It's been wonderful, and I had no expectations for my birthday. I didn't really think about it too much or plan anything special, but it's been a very full, beautiful morning so far, even though I got out of my bed, like I said, without any expectations, and I've been busy reconnecting with people who are wishing me well. And what you sent me, Courtney, was so profound and beautiful. I I know that it came from above because that came through so loud and clear. So you're the beautiful soul that acted as a channel for me to receive it. And there's was something more about it than just the words that resonated really, really deeply with me. It's it was a sacred experience, and nothing at all that I expected today or any day. So it's really, really amazing, and I'm grateful, and I thank you again.
Well, I'll say it was love. I love you, Phil. And I say that,
Mhm.
but I think sometimes people say I love you and there's no feeling attached to the words.
Mhm.
And and maybe you felt my feelings in the words.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. It's like the vibration, the vibration, because the words are one form of expression, one form of communication, but the vibration that carries it contains so much more info. I, I have this habit of going on YouTube and just enjoying picking different things to look at. And last night I was watching something about dogs and how they respond to humans in ways that we are not aware of. And a lot of it has to do with tone, vibration, smell, all these more subtle things that dogs really pick up on.
Well, and what's so interesting, well, that's so I love that you were watching that because we have a puppy, so we've been learning,
Yes.
talking a lot about that and how they can feel your insecurity, your fear. They pick up on it very, very quickly. And so how important it is to be confident and to kind of mean what you say and say what you mean.
Hmm.
So it is interesting about our vibration and how maybe we're walking around and we affect other people just by simply how we're holding ourselves.
Right.
That's so funny. We've been talking, what are you living in our house? Like we always seem to be interested in the same things
It's
at the
true.
same time.
That's true.
You have to
But
come, you have to come visit here. It's so heavenly. But yeah,
yeah.
but then how do you come across to people? But what I think is interesting is, and I actually did pull it up, is that we're having this conversation about words. And this new month, this new 30-day cycle or 29-day cycle is about words and what we think, how we speak. So we can just look really quickly and then we can then unshare it. But I think it's so interesting because how perfect timing, right? Can you wait? Can you see? Did it open
There
up?
it is. Yes, it's here. I see it.
Oh, but now look, we decided to close again.
I see it.
Yeah, so I just have to switch it on the date. So we're going to animate it and then we're just going to switch it to 11. Oh no, it doesn't want to share. Okay, let's see if it works now if I share this. But it's not coming up on the big one, right?
There it is. It's there.
Okay, so here we're just going to switch it to 11:02 p.m. last night on Monday night and see if it worked. Did it work? Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting because look at that, all of that mercurial energy. And if you were to just have it based on the East Coast, right? Right. On the time of the ascendant is in Capricorn, it's in that fifth house of creativity, how we feel like using the creative energy of our mind and our words. And just look at that beautiful. It's like beautiful, sun, moon, Mercury, all asking us to be aware of our thinking and our mind. And then what's really fascinating, I was thinking about how, look at this, in a trine to Pluto, are we ready to transform everything about ourselves by our mind? And then look, I mean, it's even in a sextile to the Neptune Saturn in Aries. So it's sextiling Saturn and Neptune, and then it's trining Pluto.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
it is asking us it's asking us to be aware of our words and what we think.
Yes. And having the sun and moon supporting Mercury feels to me like mom and dad imparting their wisdom to their child Mercury, who will distribute it and share it like a child would, freely, without any hang-ups. So it's got a youthful vibe, but it's grounded with that balance of sun, logic, and moon emotion.
Yeah, on the high side, right? Because on the high side, right, it could balance it, it could be playful, jovial, or it could go be chaotic, right? But it go back to that trine into Pluto. And what's interesting is it's in retrograde. And so can we redo how we everything we believe about ourselves? Like we were talking about that the other day, you and I just okay, you had no expectations. And so you didn't even couldn't think of what was possible for your birthday and see how much love could be given to you because that might not be what you're used to or what you remember, but
Mm,
it's like a brand new day. I mean, Saturn
mm.
went, I mean, think about it on like right at your birthday, the Saturn went into Aries. It's a brand new 29-year cycle.
Very different energy.
Yeah, what were you doing back in like 1996? Do you remember? Because I was thinking about that. They said someone said it was like 95, so then I went back and it actually was still in Pisces then. So I think it's like 96, where 1996. What were you doing in 1996?
My career kind of took off in 1996. It 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 got very exciting and interesting.
Ooh. So that's what we're going to have again for you, like a new career, a new third.
Very,
You're
very.
at the beginning of it, or was it like, had you been working on it?
It was kind of the beginning. I mean, I was kind of going in that direction, but again, it was something that it was not a goal that I set for myself. I just landed in a place that was beyond what I could have anticipated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's two for me, right? I had met my now husband, and I don't think I dreamed about it or had any idea of, I couldn't perceive how great it could be at that time. I mean, I was a kid, right? And I really was a kid. It was 30 years ago, but
Mhm.
29 years ago, and I couldn't
Mhm.
imagine how great it could be. But it was
Mhm.
great, and it's been great. And then now we are all ready to begin again, to start something new and to kind of leave what I don't want behind and take what I do want with me. It's kind of
Mhm.
like how a birthday seems,
Mhm.
right? It's a new year. But it's a new time for everybody. I mean, this is really exciting.
That fire energy can, you can burn up anything that's not working for you and use that same energy to light a fire within you.
Yeah. And
It's really, it's a great energy because I think it just gives you courage and you become a risk taker and you become bold and you just plant your flag and move forward. That's
well, and in a spiritual way, I mean, okay, I think it's like been since the 1700s or something where Neptune and Saturn have been together. I don't know. It's a very, very, very long time ago. I don't know when particularly. I do like listen to other people, and I think that's kind of what I heard. But can you imagine that if you were brave and courageous and then had faith or trust in this higher power? Two, you did the work, you were brave and courageous, but also you kind of let go and let God, how magical that would be. And this is what I think is the opportunity. And I think that is the greatest Gemini word, opportunity.
yeah.
I don't know what your favorite Gemini word is, but I will say, and okay, did you ever hear this? Because everyone thinks they're their sun. And so since we know it's your birthday and you have a Gemini sun, you could think you are supposed to be very Gemini, but then it's actually not true. It's actually you're supposed to aim towards being more Gemini. It's like where I'm going to get to. It's like who I truly am when I could get past all this other stuff. So people aren't really their sun. It's like that's their goal to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, how can
I think
and how do you take care of your mind? Because I think that that is the if I were to say the one thing that everybody what I would want everyone on this new moon to do is to plant the seeds, but also to be aware of their limiting thoughts. So, how do you yourself, how do you get over your limiting thoughts, or how can you?
I have to say that yoga, the whole experience of yoga is for me exactly what I need to help me think more clearly, feel better in my body, but also connect to my soul. And I've shared a few things about me and how I have, challenges with my um, state of mind sometimes that I can be anxious, and that's just a quality that I have. And I know how to manage it, whereas I didn't before. And, there's different ways you can handle it. You can self-medicate, you can get medications from a doctor. There are lots of things you can do. And I didn't know nothing was seemed to be working for me. And I kind of fell across yoga. It was not something, this is another really important change that happened to me that I was not planning for. I didn't I didn't give yoga a moment's thought, honestly. I just visited a yoga class, while I was waiting for a swim class to begin. I just went in there because I had time to kill. And I stepped out of that feeling like my my insides had been giving a bath, that I was cleansed, I was clear, I was calm, sharp, invigorated, all the things that, that I was looking for, and they just came together this way.
And
And again, it's
you weren't even looking. Look at
I
that.
wasn't, and it was way so much more beyond any expectation I had. I just thought I'll figure out what this yoga thing is. And I always joked to friends about yoga because I told them, I'm just too anxious to do yoga. I can't meditate. And that was a self-limiting belief that I had, that I carried. And I'm glad I just happened to be there. I happen to have time to kill because it was not something that I planned to do that day.
Yeah, but you did it. I think that it was so interesting. So I always say, like, anytime I say I can't do something, I see it as like this, almost like a ringing in my ear. So it was so funny that you said that because I was watching this like years and years ago, maybe 10 years ago or 9 years ago. There was something on 60 Minutes and they had John Kabat-Zinn, and John Kabat-Zinn was like went into a company and they made
Mhm.
them take their phones and put them in a basket and they had to be silent. And then they talked about like this multiple days of silence. And then I was like, I could not do that. My mind would never go, I could never do it. And that's exactly what happened to me. And just because I was like, because I thought that I can't, I was like, I have to try this because the more I think that I can't do something, I think that there's such an opportunity. And it did, it changed my life of learn because I didn't think I could meditate. I mean, my mind is so chaotic, and I never thought that I could meditate or find peace in sitting with myself. And it's not always so peaceful, but it brings this light into me and it clears me out. And the thoughts they come up, but you let them pass. And similar to yoga, right? The thoughts don't not come in. I think that's what like people miss out. It's like, well, I'm not good at this, but you are good at it. As long as you get yourself to the yoga place or you get yourself to the seat, you get yourself present, um, you're good at it. You're good at it. It's your own limiting beliefs that think you're not good at it. And I'll say, maybe if you think you're so good at it, maybe you have to question it too.
I hope people will are listening to what you say because you're absolutely 100% correct. Just bring yourself to the mat. You can do it. The thoughts will come up. You just let them go. And other thoughts come up and you let them go. And that's something that, when I heard that, it really fell into place so much more for me because I wasn't fighting with those thoughts. I was just recognize them as they came up from my subconscious and then, not to let them get stuck, not for them to
Not to be
cause a,
scared of them. I think so much of our our response is fear-based. And so when we get
yes,
scared, we get anxious and but maybe not be so scared of them because they're feelings. And when you're sitting in the pose or in the seat, maybe they're coming up to heal you.
yeah, absolutely. They're coming up so you can be unburdened by them if they're blocking you because they do all these unresolved issues that everybody has, whether they're big or small, they all get pressed into the subconscious, one on top of the other, on top of the other, like a trash compactor. They get squeezed, squeezed, squeezed so there's room for more. And if you're not processing it, it just stays there. and it creates
Well, then the other
imbalance.
people outside of you, you think it's the other people outside of you. I think that's the most beautiful thing about doing yoga or meditation is that then your feelings are coming up without anybody making you feel that way. So if you don't sit there and do it yourself, then the person cuts you off where the friend comes
Yes.
to you and starts with you,
Mhm.
right? So all those suppressed things will come out anyway.
Right. And it's a very powerful process to let them flow up and to, you know, confront them, embrace them, say hello to them, and then say goodbye. Just let it burn, let it go.
Yeah, I like sometimes I think of it like a cloud, right? Because it's so watery, but then I let the cloud pass. So it doesn't feel like it's just pouring rain on me.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
it's so interesting because we were watching. Did you ever see Lost? Do you remember the show Lost?
Uh-huh.
I never saw Lost at all. And I thought, but it was so funny because we turned it on last night and we started to watch it. And I thought it was so interesting because he was a brain sur he was a surgeon and he talked about how it was so hard for him that first time that he had got faced with this fear and uncertainty. And what he did was he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he let himself feel the fear completely. And then what he said is that he then was moved forward. And I thought, wow, like years and years later, I think that was made in 2010. So then Mel Robbins came out with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. And so it's a very interesting thing how like TV and movies have been trying to give us tools and tips for us to be able to find peace. And then, but it gets lost in the translation.
Yeah, and I think it's great that we can that movies and TV provide us with characters that are going through so many things that resonate so personally with us. It's almost like I all of these things that you're saying are things that I've said internally and I know them well, but I just thought that's where they existed exclusively. So hearing other characters say that is almost like a relief, right? Because it's the issues that I've experienced or feeling or thinking are a lot more common than I ever thought.
And yeah, and we're not alone. And so maybe we watch it through the TV or we watch it through, but we don't share. We're not vulnerable. I think that is so interesting because I mean we'll see. I think what's going into Cancer, something's going is Jupiter's going to go into Cancer and how more vulnerable we all are than we maybe we think other people are. I mean, we're all kind of these vulnerable human beings. So happy new moon, happy birthday. It's the beginning of a new era, maybe in a way. It's a start. Feels a little lighter.
Well,
Doesn't it feel a little lighter?
yeah, there's energy. There's definitely I think that's why, Courtney, that we were kind of it, I felt like I was buzzing when I was speaking to you yesterday, and I feel like, oh boy, man, I really shared a lot and I talked a lot, and we didn't actually get to record anything, but I felt so energized after. I always do, but there was something electric about our call yesterday.
Yeah, I think it feels new. And I
Hmm.
feel like I describe it as everyone's being asked to change, and
Hmm.
we couldn't change with
Hmm.
all that water. Like it's like Saturn was sitting there and it felt damp. It's
Yep.
I have
Yeah.
energy kind of. I'm tired. I kept on hearing that from people. I'm just so tired. And
Hmm.
we won't maybe we will all have a little more jump in our step. We could look at the chart, but right? It just feels like we're a little more, I think you said yesterday, caffeinated.
Yeah, exactly. And it's springtime too. It's just the everything's blooming, birds are singing, the days are getting longer, and
It's
you know,
brighter. I mean, it's brighter. The sun's out more, right? There's hope. I think
yeah,
it's like there, it feels as if there's hope.
yes, yes, yes,
And it's so nice. And so wait, I'm going to share Tuesdays just because we should probably know Tuesdays because we're here, but we'll say, let's animate it. Can you see that? And then, so this is the 27th, and then we'll see
yes.
to 7 a.m. Did it work? No.
Yep.
Oh, did it work?
Yeah, it's May 27th, 7 a.m.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Because I'm like, wait, that's not true because if we were to see the chart right now, the sun would be on the top of the chart. But since we're looking at the morning, I think it's important just to see how the day will start for people. So on Tuesday, it's Mars's day, and Mars is in Leo, but it is the new moon. So I personally, I'm a big advocate for setting intentions and either writing what you want to do or what you want to have, or taking an action because it's Mars's day towards it. And I actually do new moon rituals. I kind of ask for what I want for this month ahead. So, and here I just go back to how important it is, how what we believe, how easily if you go to Jupiter and Gemini, which is the rule, like, so sun and the moon are in Gemini and also is Mercury and it's rule, right? And what else is in Gemini is Jupiter, and Jupiter's in Gemini, and our beliefs about it, our beliefs, they're moving towards, right? They're all moving towards Jupiter, and Jupiter's at moving towards the end. And I don't know. Jupiter is like about where are we underestimating ourselves? That's what I got, Mr. The Jupiter is ruled by Gemini, and how much what we believe is all wrong, especially about ourselves. Like we underestimate ourselves so much. It makes me want to cry, Phil. So, and I think we have to be so wary of the South Node. So that's actually really interesting because the South Node is in Virgo, which is also ruled by Mercury. And so we can easily get into the habit of having thoughts that are not helpful to us. And if we're doing the highest point in this, if we're doing the highest way, it's the North Node in Pisces. And then we see it's ruled by Neptune, and being brave and courageous, having courage. So having real courage to know my worth and my value.
Yes. And because it's Pisces, to, I think, have courage to deal with whatever comes your way. So rather than the Aries energy of moving forward and blasting through, I think the Pisces energy is more about accepting whatever bit might be coming at you and being brave about that, knowing that you're held and protected, even though it may seem like you're just a little fish in a huge ocean and you're swimming blindly and not really sure where the ocean's going to take you. You have some power, but you're in this giant, powerful, always moving environment that you just have to work with.
Yeah, well, and I feel like I love the word acceptance because you can't always control what is thrown your way, but you can control how you react. And if you think about that Aries energy, you could react in anger or you could react in presence, like acceptance and presence, and just like right here, right now, what do I have to deal with? So I think that's so imperative, really, what you just said is so It's such a beautiful blessing for anybody to be able to receive that, to really allow what is without needing it to be different.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, we would have no suffering if we just allowed what is without differences. But I also go back to the word for Gemini, which is the strong stellium, is okay, choice. What choice will I make? And am I making a choice out of being a victim or a victor, I think. And I will say, I don't think anyone knows what's next. Like, so that uncomfortableness of not being able to know what's next. Wait, so I'm not going to close before I close it because I think it's more fun to see us than the chart. But so Wednesday, this is Wednesday of this week. And wow, life is going by really fast. We're at the end of May.
Yeah. Yes. Almost half the year. It's over.
That's great. That is crazy. So it's Mercury's day, and we know Mercury is in Gemini. And it's like, wow, it's almost cazimi to the sun. It's going to be a mercurial day. What's your opinion on mercurial, the word mercurial?
I think of busyness, multitasking, moving quickly, engaging with others, making lots of connections.
Yeah. I'm interested. Like I think of Mercury too as interested. Like when you're engaging with someone, like I am interested in what you have to say. I'm listening. So I think that would be an interesting thing just to listen.
Mhm.
What is actually someone saying to, I always think maybe we're not even hearing what someone's saying because we're putting our own perception on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think our internal dialogue can block out what people are sharing. You could have a one-on-one, and I fall victim to this often. I can lose track of where the conversation is because something will come up and it will take me in a different route. And it's like a neurotic thing, but I'm aware of it now.
Yeah, but I wonder actually, like that would be very mercurial of you actually, and
Yeah.
very if you said to them, please forgive me, but like
Mhm.
let me ask you, did I get that right? Is this what you said? Right? Like let me ask it back to you. Did you ever see that where you ask, is this what you said or is this what you meant? Right? Like you could actually ask questions on Wednesday, which I think would be really helpful and supportive to people. It's like, well, maybe maybe that person wasn't saying that. Or I got
Mhm.
lost in my own imagination.
Mhm. Mhm.
Repeat what you said.
Mhm.
Do you ever do that? Like when you get lost, kind of like asking to repeat the question, or
Often, yes.
yeah, did you ever hear it's like it's the imago therapy? Do you know imago therapy?
No.
It was the guy who wrote it. He wrote the book, it's called Getting the Love You Want. And
I've
it
heard of that book.
Yeah, I don't know if he uses imago therapy or if he created imago therapy. I don't even know. But what it is you actually repeating that back and saying, did I get this? So did I get this right? And then they could say, well, no, I actually didn't get it right. This is actually what I meant or what I wanted to say to you. But the words are really important and our words matter. And sometimes we can come across as not kind in our words without even realizing it.
Oh yeah. This is another yogic belief, and it has to do with sound and vibration. And that is, the sound carries a lot of power. It's very powerful. So you need to be mindful of every word that you speak. And I know that we began our meeting with a mantra, and I know that we like to begin with a mantra. The one that we did today is a mantra of protection, and I've been chanting it now for such a long time, but it always created this question in my mind, which is, Mercurial, and that is, how could a mantra possibly protect me? How does that work? And a yogi explained it to me, and it made sense to me. And that is, when you're chanting in that particular chant, it's like you're sending out a certain code, an audio code that creates a buffer, like a 10 to 15-second buffer between you and an incident that may cause an accident. So it's the, it's far-fetched, but it makes sense.
That's actually very mercurial. I mean,
Yes.
accident is a very Gemini word,
Right.
right? So, right, how amazing that is that my words can make a difference. My mantras, my words, my asking for the divine.
Right. But they can be, you can fine tune them so much that they create
Well,
a buffer.
I would say another way to think about it is like the radio channel of a frequency and then having it what you're asking for from the universe. You want to say the protection? Because I'll say to you, on this Wednesday, we could
Mhm.
be racing around and we can be very busy. And how
Mhm.
nice it would be for us to have some protection.
Mhm.
So do you mind sharing the mantra with us? Because I'll say for Wednesday, it's a good mantra. And then you could cut it and share it separately just as a Wednesday mercurial. It's a
And,
good
and I'll put a timestamp on this too.
yeah, go
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we'll just bring our hands together in prayer pose, and we'll press the knuckles of our hands against the sternum, and we'll sit straight, and we'll just let the shoulders really relax, right? So the spine is straight, and we tuck our chin in slightly to extend the straight spine. And this is called the Adi mantra, and it's a mantra of protection. So we'll inhale deeply, and as we inhale through the nose, we let the tummy expand. The diaphragm drops. You're bringing in oxygen all the way down through the lungs and into the tummy as it expands. Then you exhale fully through the nose. We'll do that again. Inhale deeply and allow the tummy to expand so you can take in more air. And then exhale fully. And we'll inhale to begin. We'll chant 3 times. Eyes are closed. Focus on the third eye. Ad Gade Name, Jagad Gade Name, Sat Gade Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name, Ad Gade Name, Jagad Gade Name, Sat Gade Name, Siddhi Guru Deve Name, Ad Gade Name, Jagad Gade Name, Sat Gade Name, Waheguru. A lot of people in LA chant that before they start their car. And I do it when I remember, but it's for that reason.
That's nice. It's so interesting about how intention is so important. I was thinking about even just a red ribbon. So people put a red ribbon around their, I think it's Italians, they put a red ribbon around their um, steering wheel. It's like it's intention, right? So words are intention. What I say to people, thank you so much for that beautiful prayer for our Wednesday. And we're going to move to Jupiter's day, which is so exciting, which is Thursday. I loved it. I love that prayer. And it's easy. It's easy, right? Life is easy. It could be easier than we think, I'll say. Okay, so now we're at Thursday and it's Jupiter's day. And Jupiter is still in Gemini. And so And look at this. I mean, this is so interesting, right? That Sun Mercury still really the ruler of Mercury of Gemini of Jupiter is in Mercury, and we could see how important it is what we think, what our mind is saying to us, what we believe. Like I was thinking about how you just used a mantra and how words, right? And we most people don't understand what those words, but we could trust that the vibration will protect us and that we can be protected. But you kept on saying about expectations, and it's a great prayer. It's like, I am positive. I love this prayer. I'm positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself for my highest good. So I think that's a very Jupiterian prayer, is I'm positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. The universe is rearranging itself for my highest good.
That is beautiful. That's amazing. Yeah, I love that.
And it's squaring the nodes. So I think it's so important for us to, okay, maybe we could talk a little bit about how, like, what we believe is what we receive. And so if I believe something, am I, you ever hear of this? Like, I get to be right or I could be happy. And sometimes what I think I'm right about maybe is making me unhappy.
Yeah, I know that's the way it is for me.
Yeah, me too. Just I go back to like mantras, and I'm a very big mantra person. I mean, I write mantras for everyone I work with. I help people create their mantras because of based on what they don't want. So like say if I don't want to be insecure, like right, that's a word that I don't feel confident in myself. I'm insecure. So I say instead of that, I would say I'm confident. I believe in myself. I practice accepting myself for who I am. And I think there's something so important now about our vibrational frequency, as you said, like making sure we're syncing up to the right frequency.
Yes, and changing your thought patterns by these affirmations are really important because what you just said is so is it says everything. The way I am thinking is making me unhappy. What a terrible condition to be in because all around you is is fine. It's okay. But internally you're unhappy. So you're just your thoughts are blocking you from your own feeling of connection and happiness. Your own thoughts, not things that are coming at you from the outside, whatever they may be, and there are certainly those challenges.
Well, that makes me think about how you have to be careful with what's coming in from the outside because you could think about broadcasting, right? Which is a word, a Jupiterian word, and what's being broadcasted around me, like what I'm reading, right? What I'm putting into my what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, right? What I'm hearing. And not, I think this idea of questioning it, everything that I believe. And why is this person trying to say this to me? Is it right? I mean, it's very interesting to me of like, yeah, but the mind is a tricky, tricky place. And I will say to you, what you appreciate appreciates. And so what I'm thinking about is what I'm going to receive. But then if I don't like what I'm thinking about, what can I actually appreciate? And
Right.
everyone could find something to appreciate. I mean, honestly, like there's one thing, if it's just going outside and a blade of grass, literally like looking at a blade of grass and saying, well, I mean, it's kind of amazing that this grass could just grow here.
Yeah, I, I feed a squirrel and I get an amazing amount of satisfaction from it.
Oh, yeah,
And
animals are.
that,
Watching a dog video. I mean, that is, you said you watched a dog video. Like, if you want to be happy, go watch a dog video. Do not watch the news. Do not watch the news. They are meant to make you fearful. I'm like, don't watch the news. Nothing, if you don't watch the news for 1 month, I'm going to tell you nothing's changed. I've
yeah,
tried it. Like, literally, I've tried. I'm like, Can't there be anything new in the news? There's never anything new in the news. It's always the same stuff. I don't want anything new in the news, please. I
Yeah,
have
that's why I go to YouTube. I do kind of pick and choose because that's my Gemini nature. So I think it's like a giant smorgasbord of information that I can just take little tidbits from. But I do find that when I get too anxious about what I'm looking at, because I look at everything that comes across my mind, I'll just go and check it out. But I always go back to animal rescue videos. Always. They're more thrilling to me than a movie. Like if there's a horse that's stuck in a ditch and they're trying to rescue the horse, I'm at the edge of my seat.
right. And I love that because look at that. The day on Thursday, I was thinking, I wonder he's explaining kind of the moon in Cancer. And so look at that. The moon is in Cancer on Thursday. And that's so like nurturing to yourself and loving to yourself and sweet sweetness. That's so interesting how sweet that is. And so Friday, the moon's also in Cancer, but Friday is Venus's day. So we could look to see where Venus is. And I'll look
Mhm.
at Venus is in Aries, and it's okay. It's actually squaring. Oh no, it's sextiling. It's sextiling Jupiter. It's sextiling Jupiter, and okay, yeah, and it's yeah. So it's semi-sextiling North Node. But listen, this is so interesting to me because wow, wow. Are you going to be brave in your relationships and open your heart and be vulnerable? Like, I think we've been much more vulnerable with each other as we gotten to know each other. And it,
Yes.
and we've allowed ourselves to, and that's actually really interesting because it will be squaring, hold on, it will be squaring. Okay, so Venus will be in a square to the moon that day. On Friday, which is Venus's day, it'll be squaring the moon. And so what would you have to where can you be vulnerable and open your heart to be brave enough to ask the people that are in relationship with you for what you need? Like, what do you need to feel safe? I need this. That would be very brave. Phil, I need you to tell me you love me. It's very important to me. And not only tell me you love me, but I need you to show the feelings behind the love. It would
Mhm.
matter so much to me to feel good for my
Mhm.
own presence, for my own ability to have enough courage to trust that I can be vulnerable with the people that I love and let them see me and see my vulnerability. Oh,
Mhm.
that's so hard for Friday, but it's exciting too.
Mhm.
And it's
And
exactly, look at that. Mercury is, the sun is and Mercury are conjunct.
mhm. Yeah, so you could even, on the other side of that, reach out to somebody and say, I was just thinking of you, and I wanted to reach out and tell you that you are important to me and I care about you very much.
Yeah.
That that's, Mercury communicating, you know, Jupiter being brave and expansive and just putting it out there and just shining a light.
Yeah, it's letting people in takes a lot of courage. But we're not
Yeah.
meant to be alone. We're just not. I mean, we're packed animals. We're social animals. We're not meant to be living this very separate life. And so as we approach the weekend and summer's here, yeah, I love that. I love to reach out to people and be brave enough and be brave enough to ask them too. Like, how do you feel about me? Or,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I don't know. I'd rather know what someone feels, I guess, than not know.
Absolutely.
It's like if I'm questioning something, maybe I'm better off just having the courage to say, is this what you meant? I keep on going back to asking questions, asking the questions you need to ask, because imagine if we don't and we just pretend everything's okay,
Mhm.
keep on going like this. It feels not fun.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that can create its own anxieties, right? Because there's something still on the table, it feels like. And what is it? And you know, I think that has a lot to do with, for me, family dynamics. And usually when the air is cleared, it's really not as big a deal as it was before the dialogue was open.
Oh yeah, because I think the fear of what could happen is much worse than the reality. But it is actually family is a perfect word, right, for that cancer, because it is the people that are closest to us that are our family that asks us, "Oh, hello."
I'm sorry, he was
You are.
making lots of noise.
It is interesting, family. No, the family dynamics, but I will say that you're better off facing things and having the communication in the words because the mind, you cannot stay in your mind. I think that's it. Even if you go a little crazy, I think so interesting. I think there's an ex that we can explode sometimes and not have regret about it because sometimes we just need to explode, right? Go scream. And it's okay to scream because you're human. You're human and at least comes out of your body. And then you can apologize after.
Mhm.
But if you're angry about something, see it.
Mhm.
Because the anger is the separation of like what I keep on thinking about this. If I knew I'm perfect and wonderful and amazing, which you are, Phil, you are absolutely perfect, wonderful, and amazing. Look, the cat thinks so too. And then, outside of me, it's not feeling that way. I have to get from the where it doesn't feel okay to going back to that. So I have to do things to change things and create things.
Yeah. And you know, feelings aren't exactly rational, but that doesn't mean that they're less important. They're not. There's that it's a world of feelings. And you it's you're in a deeper arena than just your rational mind when you're talking about feelings. And they can feel irrational, but they're also extremely powerful.
Yeah, they're telling you something. They're saying what you don't want. If I'm feeling lonely, the word lonely, and I'm feeling it, and I pretend I'm not feeling it, well, I'm going to have a lot of regret because I don't want to be alone anymore. I would like to have a friend. I would like to talk to somebody.
Mhm.
I have to listen. I mean,
Mhm.
oh, I have to listen. I have to listen. I have to be brave and listen to my feelings. That's what I will say that's on Friday. I have to be brave and listen to my feelings. And let's go to the weekend. So it's oh, wait, did we switch back to Sunday, Saturday? Okay. Wow, it's going to be a very social weekend. I will bet.
Last day of May.
So Saturday is Saturn's day, and Saturn's in Aries, so it's the beginning of a new week. It's the beginning of the summer. I actually think I don't know. I'm not a big, huge Memorial Day fan. Maybe the second, maybe this weekend will be the start of your summer, based on weather-wise. I think that last weekend there was a lot of not such great weather places, so hopefully. I wonder I'm going to look to see. I wonder if this weekend, the weather will be better and you can
Mhm.
have a little more fun. Let's hope for that.
Mhm.
Is there anything you see about the, like, what a fun weekend. Look at the Mars and the moon conjunct of like being seen dancing and having a party.
In the third house where there's get-togethers and informal neighborhood gatherings and just a lot of like impromptu fun. It may not be planned, it might just happen and
And chatty, like look
and
at
chatty.
sextiling. The moon will be sextiling that that sun Mercury. And imagine if I was allowed, I was chitty chatty, like, like I could just imagine people having drinks and sitting outside and talking and being social. A good day for a party.
Yeah. Or it might be a good day for many little parties. Like you meet your workmates for a happy hour, then you have dinner with other friends in the neighborhood, then you go to the movies with somebody later, and you're just making all these little great connections like they would be
Quick.
rather than
I like it. Quick, easy connection so you don't have to get so deep.
right. And then it's definitely a Gemini thing where you're not
You don't get
you're not
bored.
feeling like I'm giving my whole evening up for this one thing. No, you're gonna cut everything down into little slices that so you can have all kinds of different experiences.
Yeah, and not get bored. I mean, even like I was thinking about that with cake, like cake samplers. It's like sometimes you just want a little taste of each thing. You don't want the whole cake. I love your idea, Phil. Yeah, make lots of plans. Make lots of different plans. Try.
Right.
Okay, wait, so we're gonna go to Sunday and the day of rest, the sun's day, which is the sun is still in Gemini, which will be, and the sun's day. So on Sunday, moon's, so look at that, Mars and Leo are,
Mars and Moon. Right.
so I would say this
Yeah.
though. Okay, you know what I love about, so people are like, I think this is the nicest thing I've ever heard about Leo. And so the moon's in Leo, it helps us all shine a little bit brighter. It asks us to shine to, and I always like this about if the Leo shouldn't have to walk into a real Leo doesn't walk into the room saying, see me, see me. They walk in with the confidence that you can't help but see them. And then it reminds me back to the start of our call, actually, when you said how dogs perceive things. And so how important it is on Sunday to put your shoulders back, to do your hair, and to stand and believe that you're worth seeing. And then people will see you, and we all want to be seen.
And be the king or queen.
Because you are. Like
Yeah.
we each are our own unique, individual, beautiful selves, just the way we are, and we're absolutely perfect. And we are all the queen of our own stories. And everybody has Leo in their chart. And so if you actually are into astrology, you could see where that moon is going to be on Sunday and ask for attention in that area.
Be a little bold.
Yeah. Yeah. And brave. Like,
Yeah.
and there's something with like the lion, right? And the heart. Leo is the heart. It's like,
Big-hearted. They're big-hearted people. That's what I love most about Leos. They're just big-hearted.
yeah. And they're fun.
They're fun, and they have all that, they have all those attributes of you they get attention whether they seek it or not, and they know it. And that's one part of them. And they want that recognition, right? But the other part of them is that they give so freely, and that it's a very attractive quality, I think.
Well, it makes you think of the sun, right? And how generous the sun is. The sun is
Yeah.
not, has the ability to shine on everybody, right? The sun has this, it doesn't just shine on one person. It's expansive and beautiful.
Yes.
And there's always, the sun's always rises every day, even if it's behind the clouds. So I think of Leah, I was thinking of like, there's on Sunday, there's no mirror I don't like to see, like yourself in the mirror. Like Do you know that? Do you know Louise Hay's mirror thing where you look in the mirror and you speak positively to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Good day would be before the next week. It does work, by the way. Wait, this does work. If you say to yourself, you're kind of getting more beautiful. Like you look in the mirror and you say, I used to think this, but you kind of getting more beautiful. It really works. The next day you wake up and look a little prettier. It does work. It's a good little tool. So I feel, and you are such a shiny, happy, beautiful person. And I hope you look in the mirror sometimes and actually see who you really are.
I'm going to give a kiss to myself in the mirror on Sunday.
Okay, me too. Me too. I hope everyone will.
Mhm.
And then we'll be back on Monday to see everybody.
Thank you, Courtney. This has been great as always.
And wait, happy birthday. It's so interesting, Eve, thinking about the vibration of the birthday. Happy birthday. It's a very high vibrational word. Happy birthday. Celebrating. How dare I say that I don't like my birthday? To celebrate the day you're born is such a magnificent gift because without you, Phil, the world would not be as beautiful and wonderful as it could be. And it is because of you by simply being born.
Thank you. Thank you. And I feel it. I feel that, which is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Well,
So thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for expressing it.
Thank you. We'll
Sun up, Courtney.
see you next week.
Bye-bye.